What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about what's going on with Batman Arkham Legacy, Batman Arkham whatever. At this point, I really don't care what you call it. I don't really care what I call it. I just want to firstly give you guys a little bit of background information. I'm recording this video literally 30 seconds after I finished recording the video from last night. So there was a video that went up last night. We talked about it not being at the Game Awards. Check that out if you didn't see it already. I assume because of how I'm recording this, because I'm just going off of emotion and just trying to rattle off these topics and my thoughts really to you guys, maybe there's going to be some overlap. But generally, I want to talk about kind of the deeper picture of what's going on. Now, we know it wasn't at the Game Awards. We know that, and like I said in yesterday's video, there's going to be people that say, you shouldn't have gotten people's hopes up. This is your fault. To me, to other Arkham channels, I'm not going to accept responsibility. I've never policed your guys' thoughts. If you guys want to believe that the game was real, you could. I've definitely helped. I absolutely. I'm not going to deny that I haven't pushed that this game was real. And I guess to the topic of this video, the game is real. I truly cannot envision this game not being real. Now, here's the deal. What's going on there? It's gotta be something like a delay. And I know, and we've had this discussion before. We literally had this discussion, I believe, like 3 weeks ago. And we also talked about what would happen, which I probably will make a video about tomorrow or the next day. What will happen if it's not at the Game Awards? Well, now's the time we have to talk about, like, what's the future? What's the next thing for this game? Like, what's going on? And I wanted to start that in this video. I've said it before, but I want to kind of make it a little bit more clear and kind of just put it all into one thing, because sometimes I'll say stuff in a video and then I'll add extra stuff in comments to people, and I'll think of extra things to kind of say. So my general defense of the fact that the game isn't canceled is just this. Now, you could disagree, totally cool. I truly do not believe it's canceled, even though we heard about the Damian Wayne game. Even we heard that that game was canceled. That game was canceled years ago. Now, leakers have told us that. Can you really believe anything a leaker's ever told you about Batman? That's debatable. That is definitely under question, and like I said in last night's video, you're going to have more misinformation coming out with that in the future days, by the way, so get ready for stuff like that. You're going to see those leakers, and I'm not one, so I don't have to worry about this. You're going to see those leakers trying to backpedal, saying, well, it was taken away last second, it was going to be at the game, and stuff like that. Pure garbage. Again, we talked about that last night. But I don't think this game is canceled, okay? If it was canceled, this game, we know that they've been working on whatever game it is, if it's a Batman game, for years. 4 years. Probably at least 2 at this point. Warner Bros. Montreal, I like them. I have nothing personally against them other than the fact that they've upset me greatly. But besides that, Arkham Origins was great. The Batgirl DLC was fine. I'm not the hugest fan, but I know a lot of people liked it. They did solid work. They've also been doing basically nothing. I know they've had trial and error. I know they've had games shut down on them. I know that in terms of games canceled, they've never been able to fully flesh out. That's fine. I get that. But here we are, over 6 years after Arkham Origins, and they've produced zero, nothing. No money coming into Warner Bros. At all. Now, Warner Bros. Is the publisher. They own them. Warner Bros. Montreal is the development studio that they own. That's important to note, right? Because they need to earn money so that Warner Bros. Feels like fulfilled that they own them. You need to pay their salaries. You need to pay to keep the building, up and operational. You need to pay because you have the studio. And if the studio is earning you $0 and you are paying them for 6 years, you can do the math. I think they're in the negative. And if at this point they've had all these canceled games just to now and I'm going squarely off of if people have the idea that this game did exist, there was this Arkham game, but it was canceled, and now, over the last couple months, they're just starting something new. So that is what I'm arguing against. I don't think everybody thinks that, but I think a good amount of people, not a majority, but I think a good amount of people think that. That is flat out not true. I really, truly believe Warner Bros. Would shut them down. It's not uncharacteristic for a publisher or an owner of studios to shut down a studio that's not producing. Even studios that do decently well, but maybe they're just not getting out as much as they want from them, they shut them down. It happens all the time in the gaming industry. Studios pop up, studios get shut down. Happens all the time. You mean to tell me that this studio has been just, twiddling their thumbs for 6 years? Yeah, I'm not discrediting them. I know they're talented. I'd love to talk to some of them, especially when this game comes out. I'd love to talk to them. So I'm not, attacking them. But they, in terms of production, putting out a game to the public, They've done nothing. Zero. Absolutely nothing. So they've earned Warner Bros. Nothing. And if they are going to cancel a third game, maybe even a fourth game from their studio, I really just think eventually Warner Bros. Would say, okay, look, you're not cutting it. Like, we've invested so much into you over these years and you've produced nothing. It's not financially reasonable to keep you. Like, literally, we are bleeding money on you, so why would we keep you? It just makes sense. And I will use that as the argument until the day that this game, until something happens, I will use this as my defense for why the game is still happening. I've got to think, we talked about this, was the game delayed? Was the game canceled? We've actually done those sets of videos 2 times now. At one time was when the game was probably, when we really thought it was going to come out or be announced, around Gamescom, around the Arkham Asylum anniversary, around September State of Play. I made it then, and then I also made it just a few weeks ago because a lot's happened. I feel like the doubt has put itself, the doubt has entered a lot of people's minds, including my own to a fair extent, but I really think, if anything, this game was delayed. I feel like this game was intended to be a game that came out right at the end of current generation. You even see with Ghost of Tsushima, literally it's coming out in the summer. You can't be any more up against next generation than coming out in the summer because that's the end of current gen, right? And then literally, October, you expect late October, early November to be next gen. So that's why Ghost of Tsushima probably will release like somewhere in August, right? That's where I'm putting it. They said summer. I think July they really probably wouldn't, so I would say June or August. So we'll just say August, right? I feel like Batman was probably in that same boat as Ghost of Tsushima, where it's like, we're really trying. Our goal is to put this game out on current gen. And for whatever reason, I feel like they've definitely hit a lot of rough patches. You just don't do, like I will always go back to it, you don't do what they did unless you had planned something sooner. People even said, expect an announcement like sooner rather than later. That was a quote that somebody said. You have that. You have the teases on Twitter. You have them coming back to social media. You have them being verified or certified like the blue check mark on Twitter. You have Roger Craig Smith, who I know he's a voice actor. I know he does other roles, but you've had him tease some stuff. You've had the writer of Court of Owls tweet out, beware the Court of Owls. You've had Capture the Night. You've had their website go down and say like it's under, it's being worked on and eventually it's going to come back up. You have all of these things, and you have all these leakers and all these rumors, and yeah, continuously not getting announced definitely puts the leakers under scrutiny and makes you question how right they are. But this, and I've said the same thing too. You got to be careful with it. How much are people going to believe them going forward? I feel like again they're going to try and weasel their way out of things, but I don't want to I'm not fully discrediting them. I don't trust them a ton, but I feel like they are too. If everybody's talking about it, it's like something is there, right? I don't feel like every leaker under the sun has reported something on this Batman game, and then all of a sudden the game never existed, and every single one of them lied. Now maybe some take some information from others and fabricate the rest, and maybe half the leakers out there are just fake anyway, and again they only kind of go off the real ones. That could be the case, and it probably is the case anyway, but if you still have literally everybody out there, not just even from gaming circles, but even people in like the entertainment world, the people that cover DC, even they've said like, hey, you got the Batman movie, Birds of Prey, DC is doing all these films, you got the Batman video game that they're doing, like even them, they've reported on it. So you have just so many people talking about this game that I just find it insanely hard to believe that the game just never existed or was recently canceled and everybody just kind of like kept going along with it. I really struggle to see that. I think what's more likely is they really did, for some reason, they planned on it being announced maybe in September, maybe in October, maybe for Halloween, maybe for Arkham Origins anniversary. They had planned for it to get announced, and then something bad happened. Something bad enough that would push it multiple months. Because it's not just the Game Awards. I don't see this game being announced in December. I really don't. It also kind of begs the question, though, of what is going on with... There was other announcements that people definitely rumored for the Game Awards in general. A new Crash game, Super Smash Bros. It was very rumored that they were going to announce their next playable character. There were quite a few things that we thought could have been there, including Batman. I even saw somebody... Is it true, and maybe you guys can help me out, is it true that there's a privated video on Warner Bros. Montreal's YouTube account, or their videos in general? Is there a private video that if that happens, if there's a video there that is set to private, I mean, that does mean that there's something there. So I don't know if that's true. Maybe you guys can help me out. Am I ruling out entirely a December reveal? No. Do I think it maybe could be announced in December? Possibly. At this point, though, I mean, I'm the worst guesser in the world at this point. You guys can say that. I feel like I'm really wrong with Batman. If you watch my other videos, I tend to be right about quite a lot of stuff, so I may get a bad reputation for the Batman videos. That's totally cool. You guys can hate me. You guys can not trust me if you want. Totally. I mean, you know, I really appreciate the guys that have stuck in, you know, I really appreciate those that have stuck with us for all this time, that have made these videos what they are. And I truly do appreciate it. Even all the people that are just sick and tired of the same kind of stuff or just not getting an announcement. You guys truly rock, and I hope I don't lose you guys. I know there's going to be people that come after me or get mad at me, and all I can really say is they've always just been my opinions. I've always just talked from my heart, from what I believe, and it fooled me. I mean, it fooled me. I thought I was going to be at the Game Awards. I told you guys I thought I was going to be at the Game Awards. It not being there is a major blow. I feel like it was delayed internally. I feel like that clearly pushed its announcement, and I will go on record still. And you could say, well, you've been wrong with everything else, so why trust you now? That's fine. I do not believe this game was canceled. I believe this game was most likely delayed, and to be honest with you, I have no idea when it's going to get announced. I will make a video talking about maybe if December is a possibility. Maybe I could just make one a month now and talk. It's January the month. It's February, because I think eventually, this cannot be an E3 game. This cannot. It will not. And I will make a video on that. I mean, I do have other video ideas. We'll talk about it. This is just insane. I'm recording these back to back. It's going to be a long night because I'm going to be editing and finishing up these videos. So you guys, leave the likes, leave the comments, leave the dislikes, because I'm sure there'll be those too. Thank you so much for watching. Again, this is today's video. We had one last night. I'm expecting there to be a couple more videos throughout the next couple days, and then we're going to rework what I'm doing with Batman in general. I'm not going to stop making videos, but I definitely did expect a reveal, so I expected to talk about the new game. Now that that's not happening, I definitely, again, have to pivot, have to 180 myself, so I'm going to figure out what to do with that. You guys, your suggestions are always welcome. If there's something you want me to talk about, leave it in the comments below of any of these videos, and I'll definitely try to make those as videos, okay? So thank you, as always, for watching. You guys truly, truly rock. I hope I don't lose you guys. I would say keep the hope alive, because I do think it's coming. I know a lot of people are just going to be really, really hurt from it not being at the Game Awards last night, and I totally get that, okay? So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you on hopefully tomorrow's video.